别往下看，放轻松。
天哪！
不行不行不行，
心都要跳出来了。
Do you believe there are places where every step feels like walking on the sky? Places where the ground beneath you seems fragile, suspended between rock and sky, and every breath reminds you of the vastness around you. In certain corners of the world, there are trails that cling to cliffs so sheer they appear almost impossible to tread. Clouds swirl around them, gusts of wind whistle through narrow crevices, and the silence of the mountains feels alive, as though the earth itself is holding its breath. These are not paths meant for the ordinary traveler. They exist to challenge the quiet courage of those willing to venture where few dare. On these trails, nature is no longer a backdrop. It is a living, breathing presence, towering, timeless, and unyielding. Mountains rise like colossal sentinels, guarding secrets carved over millennia. Rocks are weathered, cracked, and sculpted by the elements. Each fissure a story written by wind, rain, and the slow passage of ages. Clouds drift through narrow valleys, dissolving and reforming like invisible rivers, while the wind carries the scent of damp stone and moss. Every sound, every shift of air, every glimmer of sunlight on the cliff is amplified, leaving you with a heightened awareness of your place in the world. Walking these paths is not simply a physical journey, it is a dialogue with the landscape itself. There are moments when the mountains seem to lean closer, almost to whisper their stories to you. Standing there, a single misstep could send a stone tumbling into the abyss below. And yet it is the very exposure, the raw edge of reality, that awakens an extraordinary sense of presence. Every heartbeat syncs with the rhythm of the wind, every breath becomes deliberate, every glance downward fills you with awe. The fear is ever present, but it does not paralyze. It sharpens your senses and connects you more deeply to the world around you. These trails are more than just routes through the mountains. They are experiences that strip life down to its essentials. Without the distractions of modernity, the noise of the city, or the illusion of control, the traveler becomes acutely aware of the raw beauty surrounding them. Sunlight spills across jagged cliffs during the day, casting dramatic patterns of shadow and light that shift with the movement of clouds. By night, the mountains transform into towering silhouettes, and the stars spill across the sky so vividly that the heavens seem within reach. At certain moments, it feels as though the world itself has slowed down, inviting reflection and awe. Perhaps this is what gives these trails their mysterious aura. They are not just tests of endurance or bravery, they are gateways into the inner self. To walk them is to confront your own limitations, to confront uncertainty, and yet, paradoxically, to find a calm that is impossible to replicate elsewhere. Each step forward, despite the precarious terrain, carries with it a subtle sense of accomplishment and clarity. The body strains, the mind questions, and yet a quiet resolve emerges, one that tempers fear into appreciation, anxiety into wonder. Along these paths, there is a rhythm to be discovered. The way the wind brushes your face, the echo of your footsteps against stone, the clouds shifting like soft curtains across the peaks, all form a subtle symphony that guides your movement and focus. You begin to understand instinctively the delicate balance between caution and boldness, between awareness and surrender. The mountains demand respect, yet they also reward those who pay attention, revealing vistas and perspectives that few ever witness. Every ridge, every cliff edge, every narrow ledge offers a moment of breathtaking perspective, the kind that makes one pause and marvel quietly at the enormity of the world. Walking these trails leaves an imprint long after the journey is over. Even when your feet are back on the stable ground, the memory of suspended cliffs, rolling clouds, and the vast openness of the sky lingers. The experience transforms perception. Ordinary landscapes seen afterwards seem smaller, more constrained, and less alive. It teaches patience, focus, and humility. It reveals the magnitude of nature, the intricacy of its patterns, and the fleeting role of the human observer within it. There is also a quiet poetry in these moments. Sunlight-piercing fog, wind curling around sharp ridges, rocks glowing with the soft warmth of late afternoon. These details, seemingly small, accumulate into a sensory mosaic that the mind cannot forget. Even without words, these experiences communicate something essential. The world is immense, mysterious, and profoundly beautiful, and there is a part of us that longs to witness it directly, without filters or shields. Some trails are narrow ledges hugging vertical cliffs. Others curve along jagged ridges where the ground beneath seems suspended in infinity. In each case, the traveler is reminded that every action has weight, that attentiveness is survival, and that movement itself can be a meditation. The mountains seem to respond to presence, acknowledging those who move deliberately, and those who hesitate are quickly reminded of their own vulnerability in the vastness around them. Yet even vulnerability, rather than being a weakness, becomes a conduit to wonder. As night falls, the peaks dissolve into shadow, and the world shifts to a palette of deep blues and silvers. Wind threads through the rocks, and the last traces of sunlight glint on distant ridges. Stars emerge in countless numbers, each one distant yet intimately close in the clarity of mountain air. The traveler stands in silence, surrounded by a vastness that dwarfs all human concerns, and feels a sense of stillness rare in everyday life. The mountains, clouds, and sky combine into a tableau both humbling and exhilarating, a reminder of how extraordinary the natural world truly is. Perhaps that is the ultimate magic of these paths. They are more than trails. They are invitations to witness, to reflect, to feel. They remind us that awe is a natural state, waiting for those who step beyond comfort, beyond the ordinary, into the edge of something immense. Every climb, every careful step, every fleeting glance down the mountainside teaches something subtle yet enduring. Attentiveness, patience, reverence, and the exquisite pleasure of being fully present. When the journey ends, when the traveler descends to gentler slopes and safe footing, the memory remains vivid. It lingers in posture, in breath, in perspective, shaping the way one moves through the rest of the world. And sometimes, in quiet moments, it whispers, "There are paths that do not lead you to a destination, but guide you to yourself." These trails, suspended in mist and wind, carved by centuries of elemental forces, are less about the act of walking and more about the experience of awareness. They are the places where the earth's grandeur, the sky's immensity, and the mind's attentiveness converge, leaving the traveler both humbled and alive to the vast, mysterious world around them.